Hello everyone. This is Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, and coming before you with an unedited video, no script or anything like that. I shamelessly like to do edited videos, and I've been so busy over the past several months, not just the past several weeks, that I really haven't had the time to really focus and be intentional on creating content for the Minister of Beauty channel. So for those of you who are subscribed to the channel, I want to say that I really appreciate each and every one of you. And for those of you who are not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It is my goal to share content with you weekly. And as the Minister of Beauty, I share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. But more specifically, when it comes to business, I've been an entrepreneur since 2006, and more specifically in the beauty industry as a beauty business entrepreneur since 2008. For many of us who are small business owners, whether you're a woman or a man, we've dealt with some setbacks. We've dealt with things that have caused us to experience setbacks in life and business. That's just a part of life. That's just a part of life. It's not something that's fun. I wish there were ways that we did not have to experience setbacks, but I just want to be 100% honest with you all and say that that is something that you are going to experience in business. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared and you have to be ready for it. And most of the times the setbacks that happen, they're quick and they're sudden. It takes time to build and to grow, but it's something that can happen within a moment that can cause you to have a setback in business. And honestly, it is the growing pains of business that you learn a whole lot more from than the wins. We can learn a lot from the victories and we can learn a lot from the wins, but you can definitely learn a lot from the things that you experience as setbacks. Because what I like to say is that I don't lose, I learn. So don't look at anything that you have experienced that life and those around you would consider a loss as a loss. Consider it a lesson. Learn from it. Learn from it. So as the Minister of Beauty and talking about business and inspiration and all of those different things, I am a faith-filled entrepreneur. And I am more specifically in the beauty industry. And I like to be able to help women in business go from challenges to victories. It's definitely possible because I've experienced a lot of challenges and I have experienced a lot of victories, thank God, okay? So I just want to be able to share business motivation and inspiration and encouragement to you all, as well as sharing beauty and lifestyle tips. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of that, so just stay tuned, keep subscribed, don't go anywhere because there's definitely a whole lot more to come. And as I stand before you guys right now, I am in one of my new business locations and I'm extremely excited about it. And so this is one of the things that inspired me to even create this video. I had to come here today to get some things together and bring some things here. So I thought I would just film a video while I was here, and I don't want to spend the time in trying to get it edited and all of those different things. I'm just going to film it, record it, and upload it. And so I hope you all enjoy this video. So I want to talk about 6 steps that you can, as a small business owner, you can win after experience setbacks. Because like I said, you're going to experience setbacks in life. It's just a part of life that we all have to deal with and we all have to go through if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Because a lot of people want the sexiness of business and you know, they look at people who are talking about the wins that they've experienced in businesses and also looking at people's highlight reels on social media, but a lot of people are not going to tell you about the struggles and the setbacks that they have experienced. I'm going to be sharing a whole lot more with you guys about those things, and I'm going to be doing them in different forms. I'm currently working on a book right now, a book that I intended to have out actually a few years ago, but I like to say God has allowed me to go through several other situations in my life that He wanted me to put in this book. So that's probably the reason why the book hasn't been finished yet. So there's no mistakes, right? Okay. So first, number one, work on you. When you've experienced a setback, take that as a time of self-reflection and work on yourself, because none of us are perfect. We all have areas where we can improve upon and different things that we can do to create a better, self, create a better person. And start internally. Don't just look at the exterior and your outer person, your outer aesthetic. Start with the inner person and working on that, because we all, again, have areas where we need to improve upon. 2020 was a pretty rough year for a lot of us, and I know it definitely was for me. I experienced things in my business life. I experienced things in my personal life. It was not easy, okay? But I tried to utilize the time of going through these different situations in my personal life and in my business life to work on me. So this was a time for me to get closer in my personal relationship with God, more intentional about praying, more intentional about my affirmations and just speaking positively over myself, using the power that God has given me to create, because He's given us the power to create. But are we using it the right way? A lot of us speak so much negativity over ourselves and over situations. And you have to be very careful, because some of us speak negativity over other people. And you have to be very careful with that, because when you're speaking negativity over other people, it usually is going to, in some way, in some time in your life, turn around either on you or someone that you're very close with in love. And you don't want to do that. So utilize the time that you're going through setbacks to work on you, because you're going to come out of it, and you want to come out of it as a better version of yourself, right? That's what you want to do. I know that's what I wanted to do. And so working on my inner person and my outer aesthetic is something that I have been doing, and I'm truly, truly thankful for just having the mindset. You have to work on your mind and your mindset. And the Bible says that we must renew our minds daily. And that is so true. We live in a very negative world, so we have to renew our minds daily, okay? So, second thing you want to do after experience setbacks so that you can win after setback is you need to keep going and keep growing. It sounds easy. It's an easy, quick phrase. Keep going, keep growing. But when you've experienced a setback, the first thought that a lot of people are going to have is to, okay, this is going on. I need to stop doing what I'm doing and figure out something else to do. Now, I'm not saying that keep going means to keep doing the exact same things that you have been doing. No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. But keep going means you have to keep moving. Don't just stay stagnant. Don't just stand there and wait for a change to come. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing and keep moving forward. And when you keep going, you, for the most part, will keep growing. I experienced, again, setbacks in my business. And in 2020, I decided to close one of my business locations down. I had multiple locations, and one location was in a different city that I just said, you know what, God, I'm just so tired. Just lead me in what to do. So I prayed about it, and I felt the peace and the ease of just going in and closing that location. I didn't allow my emotions to get the best of me and make it like an emotional decision, because you don't want to move in your emotions when it comes to your finances and in your business. You have to make smart decisions. So moving forward and closing that location down was something that I felt led to do, and I did it, and I didn't look back. And with me not looking back and just keeping on and keep going forward, God is allowing some opportunities to open up again in the same area, but just doing it a different way. So sometimes where you left may be where you end up going back to, but God will allow it to be in a different way, and it will be for your benefit. It will be for your good. So I'll share more about those things at another time, but because I continue to keep going, God is allowing me and my business to keep growing. And again, as I stand before you right now, I'm in another business location that I secured recently, and it is a much larger space. So I'm really, really excited about that too, right? So that's something else that I'll talk about at another time, right? So the third thing that you want to do is you want to get organized. And you might need help doing that. I'm very organized in my mind, but because I'm so busy a lot of times, getting organized myself is not something that I can do strictly on my own, but I am being more intentional about spending the time to get organized and getting the assistance from assistants that I do have to get organized. Because when you win after setbacks, you want to be in a better place than what you were in before. So if you had things all in a disarray and cluttered and just, whatever, then you don't want to get in a place where you are overcoming those setbacks and then things is just like, oh my God, I have all of this stuff all over the place. My office is a mess. The drawers in my office are just overflowing with paperwork and just all of this mess. My bank accounts, everything online is just a mess. So take the time and get help if need be to get organized. All right. So the next thing, number 4, make your presence known and don't shrink but soar. And I'm going to give you a little quick, because I don't want this video to be very long. I'm going to give you a little quick example of that. All right. In one of my other business locations, the owner of the building, she did some stuff that was pretty shady. I had been in that building, or I have been because I'm still there, since 2012. And I've taken such great care of the building. It's an older building. I've put a lot of time and money and just my heart into the business aesthetic so that it is pleasing for my guests, the clients, the customers that come to get services done at my business, because the building just wasn't all that when I moved into it. And so over the years, she never showed me favor, but she definitely showed me that she was happy to have me and my business there and having me as a tenant. But people change, people flip, people just do what they want to do sometimes. And 2020 was a year where a lot of people who own buildings, landlords, they experienced things where people, ditched out on their leases, or they weren't able to pay their rent but still stayed there and didn't have to pay rent because of all of the eviction moratoriums and different things like that. So sometimes those who are in those situations can cause it to be harder on other people who are not in that situation. I was still paying rent. I was still taking care of the building. I was still seeing clients. The business was still operational, thank the Lord. But she decided to move a tenant right next door to my business to try to directly compete with my business. And that is a no-no in business. You just don't do that. But again, her acting in an unprofessional manner decided to do something like that. And when I confronted her about it, she just made it seem like, oh, well, if someone wants to copy your business, then you should be flattered. And I wanted to say, don't tell me how to receive something when I'm telling you that it's not cool and it's not okay. And again, the business was no threat to mine. It was just a respect matter. And also, it's not about the competition. It's a conflict of interest, because the person who moved there also did some other things that was just not cool. And I'll talk about that at another time. So to differentiate my business from theirs, even though I've been there for a long time, and even though I've been in business for many years, I had to make my presence known. So I decided that I was not going to shrink. I was going to soar. I wasn't going to depend on the landlord to make it right. I had to do what I had to do in order for my business to stand out and not to shrink, but to soar. So I did a number of things with the building, and also I did a number of things, online, and just different strategies and tactics that I put in place to stand out. And that business isn't even there anymore. It wasn't even a full year. So that's neither here nor there, but I'm just giving that as an example. When you've experienced some setbacks in business, a lot of times we may have the thought that we need to just shrink into ourselves and feel like a failure and act as if we did something wrong. It's not all the time that you experience setbacks because you did something wrong. It's just a part of life. And how do we really learn anything if we never go through anything, right? So that's that. So make your presence known. Do not shrink, but soar. So make your presence known, and you don't have to be a spectacle. Just do it in a way that's appropriate for you. Make it work for you. You don't have to try to be anyone else. You don't have to do things the way somebody else says that you should do it, or trying to be somebody else and try to have the personality of somebody else to make your presence known. You can make your presence known by just being yourself, and that's what I do. I can't be anybody else but me. I have to do things the way that it's comfortable for me. So make your presence known and do not shrink, but soar. Okay. So number 5 is to stand. And again, it sounds simple, but it really isn't, especially when you're going through struggles and you're going through setbacks. But something that I've learned through some of the setbacks and the things that I have gone through in my life, God was just showing me the scenario of a boxer. And you know, when you're in a boxing match, or maybe you've never been in a boxing match. I never have been in a boxing match, but some of the things that I've been through, I feel like I may have been in a boxing match at some times. And God was just showing me in the spiritual realm, I had this vision of a boxing match. And the boxer is just getting the best of this other boxer, just blow after blow after blow after blow. But that boxer that's getting blow after blow after blow after blow has not fallen down. They're still standing. It hurts. Their face is bruised. They're, stumbling. They may not be able to get a blow back in themselves, but they're still standing. And God was showing me in the spirit that through my faith and not allowing the spirit of a quitter to come upon me, I continue to stand in spite of the blow after blow after blow that I have been experiencing. And I was like, you know what, God, I'm so thankful for you showing me that, because standing sometimes is not an easy thing. But allow the blows to make you stronger, because the more you stand, God is going to strengthen you and just allow you to go through that situation. You will go through some things, but you will get to the other side and you will be stronger. You're going to heal. The wounds will, be made whole, and you'll come out in a better position than what you were in before you went through what you went through. And that's what I believe about the things that I have gone through in my life and in my business. I continue to stand and I'm becoming stronger. I have this much larger business location that I'm settling up and getting prepared, and just grateful for the opportunity. And finally, number 6, take more risks. And again, speaking about this business location, this is a risk for me. Anytime you get into something whether it is a contract, a lease, a mortgage, something you're making an agreement with another party, another entity, or whatever, it may be, where you're going to have more financial responsibility, you're taking more risks. Whether it's hiring more staff and hiring more employees, you're taking more risks. In this location, and it's going to be more rent for me. But you know what? I'm grateful for the opportunity to even get in here, because let me tell you, with the things that I have experienced in my life and in my business over the past couple of years, even having the opportunity to secure this location was a blessing. And God was leading me to do it, because going back just a little bit to the previous situation where I talked about making your presence known, one of the things that I got pushed to do and I got prompted to do when the landlord allowed someone else to move right next to my location that was pretty much just trying to copy what I was doing, was to start having me look elsewhere. And so it wasn't something that was even in my plans at that time. I knew eventually I wanted to get something larger, but I don't like to just move on my feelings. Again, not moving on your emotions and your feelings, but that's what prompted me. So sometimes God will allow some quote unquote negative situations that happen in your life and in your business to prompt you and press you to move forward. And that has been my experience for a lot of the things that I can say that I have gained and I have earned in this entrepreneurship field, because I got pushed into entrepreneurship. You know, a lot of people these days, they want to brag about being an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. But it's hard work. It's not easy, and it's not for everybody. And there is no shame in being an employee and being an amazing employee. If you get the opportunity to be an amazing employee in someone else's business, then go for it. I didn't get that opportunity. God pushed me into entrepreneurship because I really did not want to own my own business. I tried to work for other people, and I either didn't get the opportunities or it just didn't work out. And I had already invested all of that money into my education for aesthetics and, you know, becoming a lash artist, which back when I started, there were not many people doing it, and the training was extremely steep and expensive. And I have traveled all over the country continuing my education over those past several years in that field to become a master lash artist. And I'm a licensed esthetician and an amazing brow artist, and I am grateful for that, because being a legal assistant prior to that, and then even prior to being a legal assistant, being a teen mom, you know, I've been in so many tight spots and situations and stressful situations that God pressed me and pushed me out into the deep. And the Bible even talks about launching out into the deep. And when you launch out into the deep, that's where the blessings are just like abundant and amazing. So taking more risks. Don't just take a risk just to say, well, I'm trying to recover from a setback, so I'm going to take more risks. Do it with wisdom and be knowledgeable about about what you're taking the risks into. I didn't just jump into my first building my first, business location, and my first building being a very large space. The first space that I ever had was a room. When I started my business, I rented a room in a hair salon. And this was, again, before the years of having a salon suites and those different types of things. And even, looking at those things now, I think they're great for some people. For me, it never would have been something that I would have wanted to do. But kudos to those who, make that work. But I started with a room, and then another room, and then a larger room. And then I got, my own building, started small. Got another location that was small as well, so I had the 2 locations. And then I got a third location. The third location was a smaller space. And then the third location upgraded into a smaller space. And then I closed that third location down last year, but God is allowing some other things to happen where that area is going to be secured again, but I'm going to be doing it a different way because of God and how He's allowing things to flow and operate in my business. And again, winning after setbacks. There are many other steps that you can take, but I just wanted to talk about those 6 steps on how you can win as a small business owner after experiencing setbacks. Because again, as a small business owner, even if you're a large business owner or you're, somebody who hasn't started a business yet, anticipate setbacks. They will happen. Almost everyone in the world experienced a setback with, what we went through with the pandemic, and we're still going through it. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm praying for better days. I'm praying for recovery. I'm praying for continued recovery and overflow and all of those different things, but none of us really know what tomorrow's going to bring. So we just have to take it day by day, but also have faith for the future. So that is how I even got into securing this space, because I was having faith for the future. So again, the 6 steps that you can take to win after setbacks is: number 1, work on you. Number 2, keep going and growing, okay? Number 3, get organized. Number 4, make your presence known. Do not shrink, but soar. Number 5, stand and keep standing. And number 6 is take more risks. So guys, that is it for this video today. It went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I really appreciate each and every one of you who has made it to this spot. If you have, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, And just stay tuned for more to come. And you can check out my links in the description box. Check out my website and my other products, because I do have some amazing products to help those who are in business as well as help those who are on their beauty journey as well. Because again, I like to go makeup free as much as possible, and I just have my brows filled in. Don't even have my lashes done yet. But I will be getting those done very soon. So guys, again, I am Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So until the next time, I hope you all have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.